Thank you. So I said that's what happens when you are a master. Your children ensure that your morale is up. Thank you everyone. Good morning. I am Pratima Sharma. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone out there. I say everyone because I want everyone to participate in this engagement of 15 minutes that you have with me today, irrespective of your caste, creed, color, or anything else that is binding you to be judged. And then, for the sake of your convenience, it's very dark there, very, very dark. So even if you venture out a little with your emotions, I think nobody's going to notice. So do whatever, but please participate in this dialogue that I'm going to have with you. So as I mentioned, I'm Pratima Sharma, principal by the work that I do, principal of a senior secondary school, principal of Jaipuriya Vidyalaya. But essentially, by passion, I'm a master. You can call me Masterni if you so please. If that amuses you, you can very well call me Masterni. I prefer being called by that name. That gives me the liberty to be free with my children. So, I am a master, a teacher. So, being a master meant that I must speak. Speak I must. That's what the masters do. Believe me, dear friends, masters are the biggest manipulators. And they manipulate by speaking. They manipulate on a lot of things. But masters must essentially speak. So I was given the task of speaking on the essentials of public speaking. Oh my God, I'm flattered. That means the organizers thought that I can speak and address public. Truly flattered. Today I'll try to underline the essentials of public speaking. So as I mentioned, speak you must as a master. So how did it happen to me? You can draw references from my journey. We belong to a family which is very, very classical. Saying an orthodox would be a little being cruel to them, but I would say a family which is classical, and I was the fifth of the 5 siblings that we were. 4 of them girls. 1968, you have 4 offsprings, 3 girls, 1 boy, and the 5th one is again a girl. Imagine the plight of the parents. So, I was the youngest of the 5 siblings, the 4th girl to my parents. And my father my father was an engineer in the military engineering services. So there was a lot of chit-chat, lot of laughter, lot of gossip, lot of people coming in, going out in the evenings. We were a nuclear family, mostly living in Cairns. And Cairns, you know, essentially is a small family of sorts. So everybody was speaking about me. People would speak, laugh, and I wanted to speak. But more often than not, when I wanted to speak, I was told, hey, come on, why do you speak out of turn? इतनी छोटी हो, बड़ों की बात के बीच में क्यों बोलती हो? Shut up! You speak out of turn. You speak out of context. Why do you speak at all? Oh my God, that was a huge deterrent. I wanted to speak, I wanted to be heard. And this urge of being heard grew later in my life, which I'm going to tell you why. So what happened? There was a lot of, talk, lot of gossip, lot of laughter, lot of giggle in my family, but I had to, by default, sit on the fence and watch. Because I was not very keen upon being shut up. So while I was doing this, I developed one very essential skill, an attribute which can be contributed to a good speaker. I developed the quality of listening, the quality of being a good listener. And I used to listen to what people speak, listen to what my father would speak to his chauffeur. By the time that chauffeur of ours had, developed this very, very stoic quality of bearing with my father's preoccupation with his work, everybody would speak to the house assistants, people would speak to common men, all our siblings used to speak to their friends, and so on, and I used to listen. And when I was listening, I was essentially gathering knowledge. I was gathering knowledge, and also, you may clap if you want. Dopamine does help us keep happy when you clap. So there will be instances when I would ask you to clap, please do that. You can applaud. So when I was listening and listening to not only influential people, I was also listening to common men and women around us. So that made me empathize with the problems, the challenges, the life of people around us. Being a good listener, I could, correlate to what was happening with their lives. When my father would say, hello, how are you? Kya kar raha tha tu? Late kyun aa gaya? So he would narrate a story, which was his challenge as a common man. And then I could understand that. I was also gathering knowledge. So when I have to speak, I must have knowledge. Whenever anyone, for that matter, me or you or anyone aspiring to speak, must have knowledge. So dear friends, go, get the knowledge. And these days, when it is the day, when the internet is on your fingertips and a lot of wisdom comes from Google Baba, please go out, spread your wings, search as much knowledge as you can. Go explore the ocean, explore the garden, read about whales, read about evolution of mankind, read about the Big Bang Theory, which is now a favorite with all of you, read about the filming of Friends, read about everything. And when you do that, you gather knowledge, which essentially would be a huge aid for you when you want to speak publicly. Because you have to speak out of knowledge. Read about butterflies. I'm saying read about butterflies because when you would be here on the stage speaking as a public speaker, there would be butterflies in the stomach. Don't worry, it's natural to have butterflies in the stomach. It's very natural for each one of us to have butterflies in the stomach. So read, gather knowledge. Why? Because in order to be an effective public speaker, you must have content. You must have something inside your mind, something which is accurate, something which is not bluff, something which is within the world that you are existing. Of course, you can speak about metaphysics also, you can speak about spirituality also and whatnot. But then you must gather knowledge. Well, you have become a good listener, you have gathered knowledge, but imagine you are to talk about California and you're talking about Tokyo. Knowledge doesn't mean that you speak whatever you know. Speak relevant. Speak things that are relevant to the audience that you are addressing. For example, if I tell you today, don't carry your mobiles, it's very harmful, and I start counting the harmful effects of having a mobile, I'm sorry, none of you is going to correlate with what I'm speaking, and you would say, ma'am, please, it's total crap. Stop. So even if you have knowledge, please speak what is relevant to the context, to the setting that you are in. Do not bluff. Do not ever bluff. Your audience, the people that you are addressing, must be able to correlate with you. And believe me, this ability of correlation with the audience you have already gathered when you learned to be a good listener. When you learned to be a good listener, you developed empathy, you developed connect, and you developed the rapport that is very, very essential between two human beings. And these days, you know what is happening? In my journey as a masternie, as a teacher, I come across children who tell me, "Ma'am, nobody listens to me. My parents do not have the time to talk to me. My parents are busy. The teacher tells me to shut up every now and then, and the principal is always somebody who's out of bounds, sitting in the iron castle. No, you can't approach me." So nobody is listening. But when you want to be a public speaker, you have developed this art of listening. So listening you have, knowledge you have, you can empathize with your audience, you can correlate to their day-to-day miseries, their day-to-day happiness and so on. You are on the road of becoming a public speaker. Believe me. Who gets the opportunity to speak publicly? Mostly leaders in their fields, maybe corporate leaders, maybe political leaders, maybe educationists who are in that coveted seat. So as leaders, you must inspire. As leaders, you must speak with bravery, with courage. Have the courage to say the right thing at the right time, at the right place. I'm sure a lot of you can correlate with this. Oh my God, I should have uttered those magical words, "I love you," which I never did. If only I had done that, the story of Rahul and Simran would have been mine, isn't it? So go out and address whatever is happening inside you. Have the courage to speak your mind out. But believe me, do it at your own expense. Don't blame me later if you tell somebody next to you, "Hey, I love you." The big bets can sure be yours. I am telling you to do that, but please do it at your own expense. So have the courage to speak your mind out with the knowledge and the wisdom that you have gathered. Preparedness is important. Preparedness is very, very important. When you are to speak, you must come prepared. You must know what you're going to speak about. At times you would come across situations when you will have to speak extempore, but nonetheless, you must be prepared. You must know the topic that you are about to speak on. You must know the audience they are going to address. Come prepared. When I say come prepared, please learn to be comfortable in your skin. When I say comfortable in your skin with my 84 kgs, I'm there, bang on, comfortable with what I am. Do not be challenged with the color of your skin, with the statistics of your body. Learn to be comfortable in whatever, wherever you are. Be confident, but confidence in any case does not sell in the market. Can you do that? Get me 10 kgs of confidence. Oh, I'll manage with 1 kg today. Please get me 1 kg of confidence. I'm sure it's difficult. So where does this confidence come from? Confidence comes from being knowledgeable, being comfortable in your skin, and being prepared. Now, what is this preparedness? I was to give this talk today. I know I've gathered a certain body shape, but then I'm wearing a black sari. Why am I wearing a black sari? Because black makes me look slim. And I'm a huge Shah Rukh Khan fan. So be prepared. Be prepared of the setting that you would be in. Be prepared with your content. Rehearse. If need be, rehearse. Rehearse as many times as you can. And you can rehearse in front of the mirror. You can rehearse with your friends. You can rehearse with your parents, or for that matter, you can rehearse with your camera. The camera in your mobile phone. Rehearse. But speak you must, and be prepared you must. Right? This is very, very essential virtue. Now, given the attributes of major attributes of public speaking, believe me, you must have faith in yourself. Faith sees the impossible and receives the impossible. You must have heard. I talk to my children and I've written somewhere, अगर आस्था है तो बंद द्वार में भी रास्ता है. And there's another thing, चाहे दूर से भी दूर है, हर प्यास के लिए कहीं एक समंदर जरूर है. चाहे दूर से भी दूर है, हर प्यास के लिए कहीं एक समंदर जरूर है. Thank you, friends, for having me over.